Charley and Barford.
Charley and Barford goes next.
Go well, Charley and Barford.
Well done, nearly.
Move up. Very nice. Good. I don't remember learning to ride. I guess like a kid doesn't really remember learning how to walk. I just naturally had total love for horses. My mom didn't want me to ride because we never had the money to afford it. She never stopped me from riding, but she never pushed me to ride. She went away on holiday, and when she came back, my gran had bought me some jods and some boots and a helmet, and that was sort of the start of my riding.
You're so lazy.
I absolutely loved my childhood in Zimbabwe. We were so free. I mean, we used to disappear on our ponies with my friends for the whole day, no cell phones. You became very adventurous in your riding. I was really lucky to grow up in that environment. I remember we couldn't buy hay bales. We didn't have the money for hay bales, so I'd go onto the road where the municipality had cut grass. My dad would park the bakkie there with the horse box, and we'd fill up the horse box with grass. When the riding school shut down, I drove around looking for stables. I found an old guy called Rob Finn, and he had no stables, but he said, I've got land and an old sand tennis court. I got wooden pallets from my dad's work where he was and built stables, and my arena was a sand tennis court for a few years. It was a career from a very young age because there was no doubt in my mind that I would do anything to keep riding horses. Look, when you're a young girl on a sand tennis court, you dream of going to ride in Europe and to the Olympics and everything. Did I believe it would happen? I didn't know that it would happen. I never had in my mind that it was going to happen, but of course it was a goal. It's always been a goal. I've always tried to be the best I can be for the horses and the best I can be in the sport. And this whole journey that's come up is just, I'm still pinching myself and can't believe it's happening. I've never been in the sport to fit in. I've been in the sport for the sport. So when I go to a show, I'm there to ride and I'm there to do the best I can. My message to young riders is people see the glory and the beautiful horses I have now, but they haven't seen what I've had to put up with in the background. I feel it's very important to do the things that nobody else wants to do in order for you to get to where you want to go. You know, I always say to my students and my riders, the only person that can make you a good rider is yourself. And you are the one who has to be disciplined and responsible for the work you put in. Everybody gets nervous and everyone has a fear of failure or a fear of letting people down, and those things creep in, you know, especially when you become more professional. You imagine you competing and you really feel responsible in so many ways for the team, from the farrier to the groom to your sponsors to your owners to the horse itself. I love to win. Of course I love to win, but I really don't make winning my focus. I go out to do the best I can, and if it's good enough to win, that's great. Mentally, me going overseas and riding, I used to do everything I could and get sponsorship to come from Zimbabwe and ride in South Africa twice a year. So my mentality is, this is the next step of learning for me. Not necessarily, I don't have this idea that I'm going to hit Europe and win and, you know, it's going to be this magical journey where I'm going to be suddenly at the top. You know, when I moved from Zimbabwe to South Africa, it's tough and it's uncomfortable and it's you have to be brave and it's really scary, but you have to be uncomfortable to be able to learn. I mean, it's really scary because it's unknown. But I've come to the conclusion, whether it goes well or whether it goes not as planned, it's an incredible story to tell. Even up to now, it's been an incredible story. So I'm such an adventurous person, and when things start to get a bit normal, I go to the next step, and I've just been so amazed. Like, this has just been put in my lap, and I've decided to run with it. If this was all taken away from me, I would make a plan to do anything to keep riding, whether I would have to go back to riding on the sand tennis court. You know, I'm always trying to be better, to make things better, and I'm grateful for this incredible stable yard and the clients and everything, but I never take it for granted because you just never know when it can go away. And somehow it gets you to where I guess you could only dream of.